With this low inventory market that we have, a lot of sellers think all you need to do is put a for sale sign in the yard and boom, your house will be sold. And that might work, but you might be leaving money on the table. I see these common mistakes all the time in homes that are listed for sale that are probably causing the home to lag on the market or not get as many offers or as high as offer as they could. But fear not, whether you've ever sold a home before or this is your first time, we've got you covered in today's video because I'm going to share with you 6 things, 6 obstacles, 6 pitfalls that even some agents don't know they're doing that if you take our advice, it's going to definitely help you maximize your sale. So let's get started. Keeping in mind that the average human being has an attention span of only 8 seconds, it's so important that you put your best foot forward in your photos. I oftentimes see where the photos are put in the order that you would go if you were walking through the house. So you see the outside, you go through the front door, you're in the foyer, you go to the kitchen, you go upstairs, downstairs, and last but not least, you end up in the backyard. Well, that might be picture number 70 or 75. And just imagine if the backyard had this gorgeous in-ground pool with a waterfall. Do you really think that the buyer on Zillow or Realtor.com is going to scroll through 70 pictures and finally get to the best one? Chances are they're going to scroll right on to the next property. It is super important that you strategically place the photos with the best 5 photos first, so that when the Zillow comes up, they see those 5 photos right at the beginning, which captures their attention and makes them want to look for more. A common practice in real estate is to list the property at a number that ends in a 9, similar to what you might see on Amazon. You know what I mean? Maybe it's listed for $499, $999. That can be a huge mistake because of the way that online internet portals like Zillow classify the price ranges. So it might go from 400 to 500, 500 to 600, or even sometimes in $25,000 increments. So say, for example, a house is listed for $499, $999. It's going to be exposed to everybody who's looking for about 450 to 500. And then people that are looking from 500 to 550 are likely not to see that property. And so by pricing it at a power price point, that's what I call them, of 500, you're going to be exposed to twice as many buyers as you would if you listed it for $499. And the other thing to consider is if you price your home, let's say, for example, $520,000, you're in the 500 to 550 price category. If you're not getting showings, you're not getting offers, you're most likely in the wrong price bracket. And so changing the price to 510 is not going to expose your house to any different buyers. You're still in the same pool. To make an adjustment to get you back into a new price bracket. We have seen time and time again when we make that kind of price adjustment that we get a whole new group of buyers in, and more likely we end up with an offer. Okay, so I am a stickler for this. The agents who come and bring the sign with them to the listing, place that sign in the yard, grab their iPhone and start snapping pictures, and you're running around shutting toilets and picking up dirty laundry, is absolutely 100% doing you a disservice, and it's going to cost you money and time. Here's why. When your house comes in the market, they may say, oh, we'll, send the photographer in a few days and then we'll trade out the pictures. But here's why that's a mistake. When your house is listed that night, well, now within a few hours, your house is syndicated to thousands of websites, and buyers have these searches in, and they're immediately notified when your house comes on the market. So their first impression, which you only get one chance to give a good first impression, their first impression of your home is the one with the poor photos, not properly staged, lighting is bad, all of these things. You're not putting your best foot forward, and they may pass your house by. So what we are very adamant about for all of our sellers is that once we've decided to list, then we get our professional stager team in there and give you the advice that you need to prepare your house for sale. Declutter, maybe you need to do some painting, move some furniture out, do the things that are going to help make your home be attractive to more buyers. And then we're going to bring the photographer in. So that's my next thing that I see happen all the time that is so much of a common pitfall. And that is poor photography and not an emotionally driven video done on the house. I can't even tell you how many times, and it makes me so mad, I've gotten an alert that there's a new listing and there's one picture and it's a very poor picture, or it was taken by an iPhone. It's so easy to see that it was the iPhone because they're vertical, the lighting is terrible. And these are not just, $100,000 homes. These are $1 million plus homes. It is imperative because, the buyers don't have that attention span. It's imperative that your photos are beautiful. And so hiring a very good photographer, spending the money to get drone photography, maybe do the twilight photos, pictures of the amenities if you live in a subdivision with amenities. All of those things are going to help sell your home and attract more buyers in. And then the one thing that we do that is kind of outside of what is typically done is an emotionally driven video. Because what I have found is if you go in with a video and you just kind of do a walkthrough, put it to jazz music and put a title in the beginning, we just don't get the engagement. Buyers are not interested in watching a boring video. They want excitement, things that get their adrenaline going or a good hook, whether that's a storyline or cool transitions or a neat angle that we come into the house into. So we are going to use the best videographer we can find. We're going to spend hours at your house doing the video, maybe having to come back and reshoot certain scenes just to make sure that it is being marketed in the best light possible. Super important. Okay, so I get it. When you're selling a house, you've got little kids, your husband works from home, maybe you work from home, you've got dogs, keeping the house clean, getting out of the house for showings. It is a hassle. No one likes it, right? But if you deny showings or say, hey, we can't do one, we have to do 3, you run the risk of losing your best buyer. And here's why. When an agent is scheduling showings, a lot of times they'll meet with the buyer. The buyer will say, we want to see 5 or 6 homes today. The agents will use a program called Showing Time. It puts them in the order that they're, driving wise, they should see them. And then they send the request to show. So if you're scheduled for 1 o'clock and you say, no, we can't do that, we have to do 10 or we need to do 5, chances are that's not in the window that the buyer was looking, or the buyer might be on the other side of town by then. And that buyer may just scratch your house off from their search, and there's a likely possibility that they may not come back to it. Letting your house be easily accessible for showings is definitely going to help you get more buyers in and hopefully get a better offer. You've lived in the house for a while, you know what you paid for it, you know what you have into it, you know what you want out of it. All of those things are the perspectives that you have as a seller. The buyer, he doesn't care about any of those things. The buyer is looking at your house and he's comparing it to what other houses in your area have sold for recently and are currently on the market. And he's deciding whether or not your house is better or worse than the other houses he's seen. So it's super important when you do sit down to discuss pricing to see your house from a buyer's perspective. We have a kind of a unique way of helping our sellers do that, which I'm happy to share that with you if you want me to. Just send me a message and I'll share that with you. But putting yourself in a buyer's perspective and not only looking at past sales and definitely not relying on a Zestimate or any online estimate. Those people have not been in your house. They don't know what you've done to it. They haven't been in the other houses either. It's just a mathematical algorithm. But really looking at your house personally and seeing how it compares to the homes that have recently sold and the homes that are currently on the market. Super important. It's also very important to look at how much competition you have right now, because the price today might not be the price in a month. It could go up or it could go down. Chances are, if there's not a lot of competition in your market, the price may go up. And so you might be able to get more aggressive with your pricing. But if there's already a lot of homes for sale and a lot of competition, next month your house might be worth less. So you see, selling a home is very strategic. There are a lot of different things to take into account to make sure you hit the market with the best light, and then you're priced right, and you're doing the things that are going to get you the best offer. We've been doing it for a long time. I've sold hundreds of homes. oftentimes above what is typically happening in the market. And I'd be happy to do the same for you. So just reach out to me for a free consultation. I'll put all the information down below. Have a great day.